All right, we're rolling. How's it going, fam? Good morning. It's Erica back with the Essentials, and today we are going to do the review. What? Of the Hogue Mini RSK Ritter G2. Who knows? Who knows what it's called? We're going to do the review of this today. But before we get into that, I just want to, first of all, apologize for the lack of knife videos lately. And also hope that you guys have a good Thanksgiving, or that you had a good Thanksgiving. We're still kind of in the holiday spirit, right? It's Saturday. I don't know when this will upload, but it's the holiday weekend, so I hope that you're having a good Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, so sorry for the lack of knife content. I meant to do this review for you guys because you've been asking for it. I meant to do it Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, but something kind of wild happened here in New Hampshire that got in the way of that. There was a huge manhunt, and somebody a couple houses down from me ended up actually getting murdered during a manhunt. So when I was supposed to be recording the review of this, I was actually hiding in my camper with my Ruger LC9 pointed out the window waiting for this crazy person and protecting my home. Yeah, it was kind of wild. This dude got road rage a few towns over, like shot a driver, left him there, and then like fled over to a few houses down for us and murdered our neighbor almost. He's like literally a few minutes down the road. This crazy person went in, killed him, stole his guns and his car, and fled to a city like 20 minutes from us. So I was literally, when I was supposed to be recording this, I was in my camper, like, hiding, and there were, like, helicopters above me and cops surrounding our campers. So, needless to say, it has been a pretty wild few days. You can look that up. Type in on Google or whatever, Lineborough, New Hampshire shooting. It'll come right up. It was pretty wild. It was right next to me. So, kind of a wild couple of days. I meant to record this, and we're just going to do it now because we finally have time. So, this is going to be the final review of the Hogue Mini Ritter. This is a knife that I tested for a month, and I feel that I have plenty of use with it to actually do a review. If you guys have been along for the ride on the channel, you know that I do not review knives unless I have had 1 month of consecutive testing with a knife. This one is a little interesting because technically we had 2 mini Ritters in this test. We had this one and then the KnifeWorks exclusive tan G10 one with the black coated blade. That one was sold during my collection sale, but between that one and this one, we have well over a month of use. So I'm going to do the review today on it because this is something very, very special. Now, let's just rewind a little bit and recap so that we have all the information we need to do an actual thorough review on this. This was sent to me from my best friend, of course, Jeremy, over at Bumblebee EDC. If you do not watch his channel, please go check it out and subscribe. He is the best person God ever created. So he sent this to me knowing that I wanted to test it and review it. I believe he got it off eBay. It's in 20 CV and he sent this over. And I paired this with the Benchmade Mini Griptilian and the Hogue Deca and the Benchmade Bug Out, and I did a huge test on all of those blades together because I thought that they were all very comparable and stuff. All of that content is on the channel, of course. And part way through the testing, I actually ended up receiving a KnifeWorks exclusive mini Ritter, which had tan G10 scales and a black blade. This one, this literal one, I gave to Nicole because she wanted it, and I tested for the rest of the month the exclusive one, and then I ended up selling it before doing the review because I sold off essentially all my knives. But between this one and the exclusive one, we did a ton of testing, and these were actually the knives that we used to do the majority of the renovations on the camper that I am currently living in. So tons and tons of use, okay? So let's talk about the blade steel first. The performance of this 20 CV. So the exclusive one that I had as well was also 20 CV. I feel that this is a very well done 20 CV. Now I was informed by multiple people that I believe it was Outpost 76. I think he had a not so good experience with Hogue's 20 CV. I could be mistaken, but numerous people kind of like warned me about this 20 CV, saying that it is soft and the edge retention is poor. It is not in my experience. I don't know if I got like some good ones, but this one and the exclusive, very good edge retention, guys. Very good. Is it to the caliber of Maximate or S90V? No, it's definitely not. And I feel that 20 CV at this point in time is kind of what S30V was last year. So we kind of, in the knife world, go through these tiers and periods of time of like basic good steels, right? And for a while it was like S30V, then it was S35 yen, then it was S45 yen. Now I kind of believe that 20 CV is like the base level, very good beginner's steel, which is kind of crazy that we just keep evolving like that, right? But I feel that this is a very good beginner steel. It is stainless. It has good edge retention and good toughness. And in my experience, the sharpening experience with this 20 CV has been phenomenal. So this I sharpen with a 600 grit DMT stone, so that's a diamond stone, and that's it. Then I just move to a strop. But I have found that the 20 CV that Hogue does seems to do very well with a kind of like gritty working edge, the 600 grit. I did bring it up to 1200 DMT once, and it polished up very nicely, but I just feel that it has better edge retention when you leave a little bit of that tooth instead of refining it and polishing it out. So 600 grit DMT sharpening with this, and then using, whatever strop. It honestly does not matter with this, I found. I did everything from green compound to like gunny juice. I did a strop that Fletcher over at All Things Knives sent me, and it's 9 micron and 1 micron. I used that, and it's some type of diamond paste. All kinds of stuff to strop this. It all honestly did the same job. It was all just great. But I feel that the heart of keeping edge retention with this is just not raising it above 600 grit, right? Because we want to leave some tooth with this. We don't want to glass it out. The sharpening is very quick and easy with this. You guys know I freehand sharpen only. I do not use guided systems or anything, so I just freehand sharpen this on a 600 DMT. And I would say that takes maybe 3 minutes to literally like apex, good to go, ready to strop. Literally a matter of minutes. Very, very easy to sharpen, guys. I also find that this steel is very forgiving. That's a word that I like to use when we're talking about toughness. So this is a knife that I very much beat on and used as a scraper and a pry bar and stuff like that, hitting nails, staples, pieces of metal, all kinds of stuff. And it is forgiving in the sense where it doesn't chip. You guys know that I would rather have steel kind of roll or dull instead of actually lose a chunk of steel, right? So this will kind of like blunt and roll as opposed to chip. And I really like that. So that means you can kind of beat on these and not worry about it. And it's very easy to sharpen out those dull spots or rolls or anything. So the 20 CV that Hogue is doing, in my opinion, from my testing for a month, is incredible. Like I said, I have tons of content testing this model on the Use Your Shit playlist. Now, this blade shape, it is just unbeatable. I feel that this is the perfect mix of strength, but you have a lot of blade height so that it thins out. You have a great grind. The tip is fine, but not too delicate. Super slicey. And I really like that this blade shape is very, it's just a very subtle belly, I feel. I think that this is a great blade shape for somebody that doesn't know how to sharpen fully yet or is maybe learning. This is a very easy blade shape to work with when you're sharpening. No crazy recurves, nothing. Just a very slight, like once you get to here, just tilt it a little bit and keep going. So that's awesome. The thumb studs were something that we've talked about in numerous videos. I just feel that they're a little sharp, and this little like zombie apocalypse looking sign is just it just is a little sharp for me. Another thing that I have heard is that if you take these out, it voids the warranty. I am not sure if that is true. That's just something that I have heard, because I had mentioned that in sharpening and stropping, these kind of got in the way, and I like on a Benchmade that you can take out the thumb stud to do that. But supposedly, if you take these out, it voids the warranty. They're very sharp, and they do get in the way when you're sharpening and stropping. So that's kind of a bummer, but a very minute, nitpicky thing that we're talking about here. In terms of using this with gloves or slippery conditions or anything, the sharpness of these studs, it does work in your favor. They're definitely grabby. And I've used this with gloves and stuff, or with, you know, like, this is going to be kind of gross, but processing the food for my dogs, the raw food, it can be greasy if it's something like turkey, like it's just a very greasy bird. So processing things like that, your hands get greasy, and I found that these studs are just great. But if you're not working in an environment like that, they're a little sharp. The springs, we all know, are Wolf springs on this Able lock, and they are a hair thicker than the Omega springs that Benchmade uses, so I have found that these are very durable and rugged. Disclaimer, I have never broken an Omega spring on a Benchmade, but it's just kind of a nice peace of mind knowing that the diameter of these Wolf springs they're just a little more durable than the Benchmade ones. The jimping is subpar, I would say, on this knife. I don't see how this is actually really doing anything. It is just too rounded. I actually really like when jimping is kind of rough and grabs your fingers like a Spyderco. I feel like the Spyderco Para 3 especially has just some really good jimping where you lock in, or like the Native 5 lightweight. We have a Native 5 lightweight. Let's just show this real quick. So see how on the Native 5 it's just a little more like toothy looking? It kind of looks like actual little shark teeth, right? I just feel that this, you can really lock in on this much better than the Hogue. This is very rounded, spacious. It's really not doing much for you. It's kind of cosmetic, but it's not affecting the performance of the knife. Now, the fantastic thing about this knife is that we do have texturing where we actually need it, right? So if you're going to have a knife where you can't lock in with a forward choil or something like this, we have a forward choil where you can really lock in. We don't have that on the Hogue, so what I would like to see is texturing on the scales so that you have something that you're gripping onto. And the Hogue Mini Ritter provides that. So we have a starburst pattern with almost like a thumbprint looking texture in the middle here, and this is G10, and it's very, very grippy. So we have a starburst kind of leading out from the pivot here, and then this kind of like thumbprint. It's like literally the size of a thumbprint if you were to do that. I'm not sure what the point of that is, but it works, and then the starburst kind of continues through, and then we have some jimping back here, which I found doesn't do anything. The only thing I could think is like maybe like when you're pushing it down into your pocket, maybe this kind of helps when you're pushing it down into your jeans. Well, let's see if it actually does that. I don't know. I just don't know why that would be there otherwise. So let's just see if that actually does anything. So we've just got some blue jeans on here. Put this in the pocket. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so maybe it does. Maybe that's what it's for. I'm finding that pushing this into my pocket, I'm actually putting my thumb on that jimping and pushing it in. Okay, so that makes sense. That's actually kind of neat. Okay, so we have jimping on the back, and a great texture throughout. Very grippy. I really feel like this locks into your hand very comfortable. I also really like the lack of ergonomics. It's kind of a straight knife, and we've gone over my philosophy on that, but I really like that this does not tell you where to put your hand. I very much like that you just grab this and it just kind of naturally goes in, right? Knives are tools that we have been using since the beginning of time, and I genuinely believe that they're just supposed to fit a universal hand. I think that's one of the most important things about a knife, and that's why I love the Emerson Mini A100 so much. It's 100% universal. It doesn't matter if you have big hands, small hands. If you have a lack of ergonomics, if the knife is not telling you where to put your fingers, anybody can use it, right? That's something I really appreciate about a good knife. And this very much is like that, right? So, overall, incredible design, incredible ergonomics, fantastic blade, very easy to sharpen, very forgiving, very tough, great retention, overall beautiful model, very grippy, easy to take apart. Yes, we have taken that apart. Very easy to take apart and put back together. You do have some very light liners in here that go down to there. Very lightweight. This is absolutely a lightweight knife. In my opinion, a lightweight knife comes in at 3 ounces or under. This does. I think it may be like 2.8 or something. I don't remember what the exact weight is on this, but I know it's under 3 ounces. I 100% know that. Now, you probably noticed by now that I don't have the original clip on this, right? So this is a Lynch Northwest deep carry clip, not the original clip. The kind of like spoon clip that came with it is good, but not great in my opinion. So on this particular knife, the retention on the clip was not the best, and I found that this was slipping out of my pocket, so I put the Lynch clip on it. However, my exclusive one that I had that I tested for most of the month with the black clip, the black stock clip, it had much better retention, and I never ended up swapping that out because I didn't need to. So this was a used knife from eBay. That clip could have been kind of messed up from the previous owner and just lost its retention or something. So can't really comment on that. But the exclusive one had great retention, and that clip was absolutely fantastic. There was a lot of science that went into that clip. The entire clip has very specific angles throughout to be the perfect pocket clip, and I do feel that when it is correct, when it's from the factory, not messed up, it's actually one of the best clips I've ever used. So I know that you're seeing the Lynch on here, but that's just because the previous one was kind of messed up from who knows what. But I'll be honest, there's just nothing about this knife that I would really want to change. The mild things that I mentioned are very like nitpicky and subtle. This, in my opinion, is absolutely one of the best EDC knives ever created. I also feel that the price point is very appropriate. I think this is like $130-ish, depending on what kind you get, because there are all different kinds. They have like G10, Damascus. You can get all of these really cool like tie-dye looking ones. Yes, there is a bigger version of this that is like way bigger. This is the mini. But you can get all different beautiful colors and textures and patterns. But I think it's around 130, maybe 150. I feel that it is acceptable though. Hogue's warranty seems decent. I have heard horror stories about it. I have also heard miracle stories about it. I've kind of realized that everyone will have their own story with companies, warranties, and basically everything in life, and you just have to create your own path. There will always be people talking about things that you have never experienced, and there will always be people talking about things that you literally had the same experience with. That's how life is. It's just crazy. So I have not needed to use Hogue's warranty for anything yet. I cannot comment on that, but on paper it looks decently appropriate. A basic warranty for a basic production knife. what I will say is, and I have mentioned this in previous videos, Doug himself, the designer of this knife, is very interactive with his customers, very kind and compassionate, and just the interaction that he gives with his customers, especially through Instagram, is really admirable. I really like when knife makers realize that we are the reason they make money because we are buying their product, and they treat us like humans and they appreciate us, and I really, really like that. So that's a huge movement point for me in terms of backing up this knife and this model and the maker and all that. Doug Ritter is a fantastic person, very interactive and very humble, and I really like that. And Hogue seems to be a company that just wants to keep moving forward and improving, and they listen to what we're saying and they try to fix things. So I really like that. So your question probably at this point is, is it an essential? Is this an EDC essential, Erica? It absolutely is. Anybody that collects knives, uses knives, a hobbyist, an actual user, I can say this is an essential for your collection. I think that this is a knife that everybody should try, that everyone should own. There's nothing about it really that I can pick out that is inappropriate or that I disagree with really, or that I dislike. I think it's a fantastic knife. I think it's super underrated, and all of the work that I put it through, it just never said no. And out of all of the knives tested with this, the 3 other knives, this is the one that I reached for the most, especially during the renovations. I just wanted to use this knife. I wanted to use this model. It is absolutely incredible, very durable. It just has a lot going for it. It's fantastic. They do make the larger models in Magna Cut. I don't believe they're doing the small ones yet, but obviously they will at some point, I'm sure. You can get them through KnifeWorks. That's where they sell them. They're absolutely fantastic, guys. The Mini Ritter is an incredible knife. Before we close out the video, let's just throw in a couple comparisons. I think that's a good thing to do too. And yeah, then we'll close out the video. So, a couple knives that I can compare it to lengthwise and just design-wise. TRM Neutron 2. I feel these are kind of comparable. I like the slim profile of the handle better on the Mini Ritter, but they have kind of the same drop point, slicey, high grind, which is really nice. So these are very comparable, and I feel that if you like the TRM Neutron, you may like the Mini Ritter. We also have one of Nicole's mini grips here. Another comparable in some senses, because the mini grip is very much, at first glance, like this, but we have videos on why they're completely different. But again, if you like the mini grip and you're looking for something kind of slicier and more available, Mini Ritter is a fantastic option. And then we're going to bring in a weird one here that we all thought was dead. Video coming on how this got to me. I will be making a video on this, but holy crap, the Benchmade bug out it doesn't leave. So we have a bug out here. Video coming on that soon. Very comparable here, guys. Very comparable. And if I had to choose which one is better, Mini Ritter. Mini Ritter, better than the bug out. We're going to talk about this soon because that's an interesting one. And if we could compare the Mini Ritter to a fixed blade, I would compare it to the LT Wright Frontier Valley. One of my favorite little fixed blade EDC knives. Really comparable in terms of ergonomics, length, blade shape, usability, all that stuff. Comparable. But, yeah, we've got 20 CV on this and A2 tool steel on this. And obviously this is a more compact carry for a lot of people, and just a lot of people like folders better than fixed blades. But just wanted to throw fixie in there that's kind of comparable to it. So, yeah, guys, that's the review of the Doug Ritter Hogue Mini RSK G2. It has so many letters and numbers. Highly, highly recommended, guys. Absolutely incredible knife. This one, like I said, is Nicole's because I sold mine, but I'm gonna try to steal it back. We'll see how that goes because she really loves it too, but absolutely incredible knife. Highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching this review. I hope that it helps you in your purchase. If you want to see this model in action being used, please go check out my Use Your Shit playlist. We have plenty of videos on that. And if you want to see weekly updates on this from when it was tested, those are in my EDC update playlist. So I will see you guys on the next video. Go use your shit. Go live your life. I love you guys so much. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for the support. And I will see you guys on the next video. Love you all.